Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, GeoLucas Navigator. Thanks for the suggestion, Lucas. You asked, what exactly is uranium? Uranium is one of those things we all think we understand until someone asks us to explain it. And suddenly, we're sweating like we're about to be quizzed on nuclear physics by a disappointed professor. So today, we're going to break down what uranium actually is, where it comes from, why it's so heavy it practically needs its own gym membership, and why people freak out when they hear the word, right here on Explaining Everything. Let's start with the basics. Uranium is a chemical element, number 92 on the periodic table. That means it has 92 protons, because apparently 91 wasn't enough and 93 was too needy. It's also a metal, which surprises people, because when you hear uranium, you don't think metal, you think radioactive doom rock. But yes, uranium is technically a silvery gray metal. When it's purified, it's dense too. And I don't mean can't do basic math dense. I mean almost 19 times heavier than water. Pick up a chunk of uranium and your first thought will be, wow, that's heavy. Your second thought will be, wait, should I be touching this? Which brings us to, yes, uranium is radioactive, but not the kind of radioactive that turns you into a glow-in-the-dark superhero. Uranium mostly emits alpha radiation, which can't get through your skin. It's like trying to fight someone by blowing gently on them. Not very effective unless they're extremely emotionally fragile. Natural uranium is also mostly one isotope, U-238, which makes up more than 99% of it. There's also U-235, the famous dramatic one. But we're not going to talk about what people do with these isotopes. For now, just think of uranium as a very heavy, mildly spicy metal with a bad PR problem. Uranium is what happens when the universe says, let's get weird. This element wasn't made on Earth. It wasn't cooked up in a mystical volcano. It wasn't invented by a bored chemist in the 1800s, though one did name it. Uranium is created in some of the most intense events in the universe: supernova explosions and neutron star collisions. Billions of years ago, before Earth even existed, stars that were much bigger than our sun exploded in massive thermonuclear tantrums. Those explosions forged heavy elements, including uranium, and scattered them across space like cosmic glitter. Eventually, that glitter clumped together into planets, which means your planet is sprinkled with star explosion leftovers, and one of those leftovers is uranium. It ended up in Earth's crust in small amounts, usually mixed into rocks and minerals like uraninite. Uranium deposits form naturally, and people have dug them up for centuries, long before anyone knew what the element actually was or why it behaved like it was trying to be mysterious. The first person to identify uranium as an element was Martin Heinrich Klaproth, a German chemist, in 1789. He discovered it in a mineral called pitchblende. Klaproth named the new element after the planet Uranus, which had been discovered just 8 years earlier. Yes, Uranus. Don't laugh. Early scientists didn't know uranium was radioactive. That discovery came later, in 1896, when Henri Becquerel accidentally left some uranium salts in a drawer with photographic plates and found out uranium had been silently ruining his film like a mischievous gremlin. This kicked off a scientific gold rush. Marie Curie studied uranium. Countless physicists studied uranium. Basically, once people realized it was radioactive, uranium became the pop star of the periodic table. Everyone wanted to talk about it. Let's talk physics. Uranium atoms are massive. Each one is like a tiny, unstable bowling ball. And because they're so big, their nuclei are barely holding themselves together, like someone who drank 6 coffees and is trying to pretend everything is fine. This instability is why uranium is radioactive. Its atoms occasionally fall apart on their own, releasing particles and energy. Uranium-238 has a half-life of about 4.5 billion years, which means if you had a chunk of uranium when the Earth was born, about half of it is still here today, hanging out, maybe paying rent. Uranium isn't rare either. It's more common than silver and about as abundant as tin in Earth's crust. So, yes, maybe the average rock you step on has a tiny bit of radioactivity, which is nature's way of keeping life interesting. It's not magical, it's not mythical, and it's not waiting to give you superpowers. It's simply an element, a dense, ancient, mildly unstable piece of the universe's chaotic past, sitting quietly in the ground, being dramatic at an atomic level. And now you know exactly what uranium is. No panic, no mystery, just cosmic science with a touch of spice. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe it's best if you don't pick it up. Just admire it at a distance. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.